I'm Margaret Chen, 81 years old. When my son Daniel collapsed from a sudden heart attack, his wife Rachel told everyone at the hospital she was devastated. But I knew the truth. For 6 months, I'd been secretly recording Rachel's affair with my son's business partner using hidden cameras throughout their house. While Daniel fought for his life, Rachel was planning to inherit everything and run away with her lover. She thought an old Chinese grandmother wouldn't understand technology or fight back. She was very wrong. This is how I exposed her affair, saved my son's business, and got her arrested for attempted murder. Smash that subscribe button. Hit the bell so you never miss stories like this. My name is Margaret Chen, and I'm 81 years old. I came to America from Taiwan 50 years ago with nothing. My late husband and I built a successful life here. Our son Daniel is 52 and runs a commercial real estate company worth $8 million. 3 years ago, Daniel married Rachel, a 34-year-old blonde woman who seemed charming at first. But I'm Chinese and I understand people. Something about Rachel felt wrong from the beginning. She smiled too much. She talked too sweetly. She treated Daniel like a wallet instead of a husband. My husband taught me an old Chinese saying before he died. Trust everyone, but always cut the cards. It means verify everything. So I watched Rachel carefully. 6 months ago, I noticed Rachel texting constantly during family dinners. She claimed it was work, but her smile looked romantic, not professional. When Daniel left the room, she'd giggle at her phone like a teenager. My instinct screamed that something was wrong. I'm 81, but I'm not stupid about technology. My grandson taught me how to use smartphones and computers. I know about hidden cameras and cloud storage. So I bought 6 tiny wireless cameras online for $300. They looked like phone chargers and USB drives. When Daniel and Rachel went on vacation, I used my house key to install cameras in their bedroom, living room, kitchen, home office, and garage. Each camera uploaded footage directly to my laptop through an app. Rachel thought I was just a traditional grandmother who burned incense and cooked dumplings. She had no idea I was running a complete surveillance operation. Within 2 days, I caught everything. Rachel was having an affair with Connor, Daniel's business partner and best friend for 15 years. They had sex in Daniel's bed, in Daniel's office, everywhere in my son's house. The footage was crystal clear with audio. But it got worse. I heard them planning Daniel's murder. Daniel's life insurance is $3 million plus the business, Rachel said while lying naked in my son's bed with Connor. Once he's gone, we can be together and take everything. How do we do it without getting caught? Connor asked. His blood pressure medication. I'll swap his pills gradually with something that causes heart attacks. Doctors will think it's natural. He's 52 with high stress. Nobody will question it. I sat in my apartment watching this footage with tears streaming down my face. My daughter-in-law was planning to murder my only son for money and run away with his best friend. I didn't confront them. Instead, I kept recording and started investigating. I checked Daniel's medication bottles when I visited for dinner. Rachel had already switched some pills. I took photos of the fake pills and had them analyzed at a pharmacy. They were drugs that severely elevate blood pressure and can cause fatal heart attacks. Rachel was already poisoning Daniel. I also discovered Rachel had forged Daniel's signature on documents transferring business assets to her name. She'd been systematically stealing from him for months, moving money into hidden accounts. Connor was helping her embezzle from the company they'd built together. I compiled everything: videos, financial records, medication evidence, forged documents. Then I made copies and put them in 3 safety deposit boxes at different banks. I also sent copies to my attorney with instructions. If anything happens to me or Daniel, open immediately. 2 weeks later, Daniel collapsed at home from what doctors said was a massive heart attack. He survived but was in intensive care for 5 days. Rachel played the devastated wife perfectly, crying at his bedside and holding his hand whenever hospital staff walked by. But I'd installed one final camera, a tiny lens hidden in a flower arrangement I'd brought to Daniel's hospital room. That camera caught Rachel texting Connor. He survived but barely. Doctor says another attack will kill him. I'll increase the dosage when he comes home. She was planning to finish murdering my son in his own home after he recovered. I'd had enough. I went to the police with everything: 6 months of affair footage, recordings of murder conspiracy discussions, evidence of medication tampering, proof of embezzlement, forged documents, everything. Mrs. Chen, this is attempted murder and fraud, the detective said after reviewing my evidence. We'll arrest both of them immediately." They arrested Rachel at the hospital while she sat next to Daniel pretending to be a loving wife. They arrested Connor at the business office. Both were charged with conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murder, embezzlement, fraud, and forgery. Daniel woke up the next day confused about why his wife wasn't there. I sat beside him and showed him everything on my laptop. The affairs, the murder planning, the poisoning, the embezzlement. He watched 6 months of footage with tears running down his face. "Mom, how did you get all this?" he asked, completely shocked. "I'm 81 years old. I survived poverty in Taiwan, immigrated with nothing, built a life in America, and raised you alone after your father died. You think I can't figure out hidden cameras and smartphone apps?" Rachel thought I was just a harmless old grandmother who didn't understand English well enough to catch her. She forgot that grandmothers protect their children no matter what. The trial happened 8 months later. The prosecution played my surveillance footage in court. The jury watched Rachel and Connor having sex in Daniel's bed. They heard the murder conspiracy discussions word for word. They saw evidence of the poisoned medication and forged financial documents. Rachel's lawyer tried claiming I'd violated privacy laws with illegal surveillance. The judge disagreed. Mrs. Chen had legitimate access to her son's home and reasonable suspicion of criminal activity. Her surveillance was legal and her evidence is admissible. Connor's lawyer tried claiming he was just having an affair and didn't know about the murder plot. But my cameras caught him discussing it multiple times. He knew everything. The jury convicted both of them on all charges. Rachel got 25 years in prison for attempted murder and fraud. Connor got 20 years for conspiracy and embezzlement. Neither will be eligible for parole for at least 15 years. The judge told Rachel, "You married a good man, tried to poison him to death for his money, and planned to run away with his best friend. You targeted him because you thought his elderly immigrant mother wouldn't notice or fight back. You were wrong. Mrs. Chen is a hero who saved her son's life." Daniel divorced Rachel immediately. He recovered fully once he stopped taking the poisoned medication. He rebuilt his business and cut all ties with Connor's family. He's now dating a wonderful woman his own age who treats him with genuine respect. Daniel installed a photo of me in his office with a plaque that says, "My mother, Margaret Chen, age 81, who saved my life using technology and detective skills that would impress the FBI. I'm 81 years old now. I still cook traditional dumplings and burn incense for my ancestors. But I also know how to use hidden cameras, smartphone apps, cloud storage, and digital evidence collection. I spent 6 months running a complete surveillance operation that caught a murder conspiracy and saved my son's life." Rachel thought I was just a harmless old Chinese grandmother who couldn't understand American culture or modern technology. She learned that immigrant mothers who survived poverty and built lives in a foreign country are the toughest people alive. We protect our children with everything we have. Connor thought 15 years of friendship with Daniel meant he could betray him for money and sex. He learned that betraying someone's son means facing their mother, and that's a battle you'll always lose. I visit Daniel every Sunday. We have family dinner and talk about his business and his new relationship. Sometimes he asks me about the surveillance operation and how I learned all that technology. "Grandma taught me on Zoom during COVID," I tell him. "She said modern grandmothers need modern skills to protect their families." She was right. Rachel and Connor have 15 years minimum before parole. They'll spend that time knowing they were caught by an 81-year-old immigrant grandmother who was smarter, tougher, and more tech-savvy than both of them combined. People sometimes ask if I feel guilty about sending my daughter-in-law to prison. The answer is absolutely not. She tried to murder my only son for money. She deserves every single day of that sentence. I'm 81 years old. I'm a Taiwanese immigrant. I'm a mother who protected her son. And I'm a grandmother who knows how to use technology better than criminals half my age. Never underestimate old people. We've survived things you can't imagine, and we'll do whatever it takes to protect the people we love. The end.